I know our time is coming to an end, but just last question for you. After seeing sort of this body of evidence with Brian Loritts, knowing that he's in a pastoral role and he's also being, it seems, groomed for a position of leadership within the Southern Baptist Convention, doing a lot of talk on racial reconciliation within the Southern Baptist Convention, how serious of an issue do you see in Brian Loritts, given the way he's behaved?
I think that Brian Loritts is a talented orator. And I think that the decision of J.D. Greear and his church to hire Brian Loritts and to have a media campaign that minimizes the sexual abuse that occurred in a former church of Brian Loritts's really endangers their Caring Well manifesto. The SBC has had hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of pastors revealed to commit clergy sex abuse. And while Brian Loritts isn't being accused of committing clergy sex abuse, he was very related to the suppression of that information with a family member. And J.D. Greear, as the president of the SBC, speaking to people who've been abused by clergy, saying that we want to do better, we will do better, we don't need a national registry, or maybe we do need a national registry of pastors who have behaved poorly. When he says that and gives the Caring Well conference and then turns away and pivots and hires someone with such a really challenging background, it does portray that J.D. Greear and his group of men will say one thing but do another. And so I think that's the actual danger for the SBC, is that it really limits the veracity and the authenticity of what they've expressed as concern about clergy sex abuse.
Well, Dr. Julia Dahl, thank you so much for taking the time, not just in this podcast, but our previous podcast, to analyze these statements. And really, I mean, I feel like you have armed us and equipped us to be much more discerning as consumers of these statements.